Alright, this is how to do the house. And we'll start with the basic shape of the house. Zoom into it a little bit. And then you gotta push it up. That's one way. After you draw and push it up, you gotta make the roof. I'm gonna use the move tool. I'm gonna type in exactly how tall I want it to be. So now I have a rough outline of the house. To make the bottom of it, we use the offset tool, figure out how big the walls are. Here, separate those, and then this middle portion we're gonna push up inside to hollow out the house. So now you have a hollow house with a roof. Next thing I suggest you do is do the offset for the roof. So I'm drawing a triangle in a triangle, and then I can add these little extendy pieces. Delete the parts I don't need, and then pull the lip out too. So if you look at the blueprint, the edge of the roof needs to be out by 2. We'll do the same on the other side. Most everybody messes the roof up somehow, so that's why I say do it first. That way you get that down. Alright, then to do the actual roof tiles, I'm going to use a property that I can find the midpoint real easy. So if you do the horizontal long tiles, you're just basically dividing it up a bunch of times, and then alternating which ones you push and pull up. So you got like a roof like that. Or if you want to do it the other way, it starts off the same. And this one I probably like more because it looks more like a roof. And then we divide it up, finding the midpoint. It snaps to it when it gets to the midpoint and turns blue. And now you have a bunch of squares, and then you can alternate. What happened to that one? The only thing if you do this one is that at these intersections where the tiles hit each other, they're touching, but they're infinitesimally small. There is no thickness, and the computer will freak out at those points. So what you're going to do is you're going to overlap them a little bit by pulling the edges outwards or inwards. It doesn't matter how far you pull it, but they need to be overlapping each other ever so slightly. Some of the edges don't pull in, that's fine. You're going to do all the ones you can do though. Oops. So let's do a couple here. Show you what it's like. Alright, so there's the roofs. The doorway is a specific size. Everything has a trim around it. All the trim is the same size, so like my door here. I'll delete this part I don't need. Pull the door out a little bit. If you're going to leave it a door, you push it in halfway, so the door is thinner than the wall. Of course you need a doorknob. And when in doubt, everything is pulled out or pushed in one. The window on this side has to be a square if you put a window on there, so it doesn't matter what size it is. But all windows have a frame, and then they also have a centerpiece. I don't know why I did it that way. I'll use the rectangle. using the center point, I'm going to go up 1, and I can also use it to go down 1. And then you delete all that stuff in the middle that you don't need. All these lines. There's probably some mathematical way to delete the fewest number of things. So you have the rough outline here. This you're going to pull out a little bit. Those you pushed in all the way, and if you push it in exactly how thick the wall is, it deletes itself. And you get a window. There's all these little extra lines around the outside when you're done. Make sure you delete those. I'm going to delete a couple here. Makes it look crisp. Delete these other ones because it's just extra. You don't need it. Alright, so you need windows and doors on 3 sides of your building. Your door doesn't have to be closed. You can do an open door. Just make sure that if you make sure you have a trim around it. Delete this portion here. You can push it all the way in, that's fine. So like it's an open door. Just make sure you put the trim around it. So there, open door. And then finally, on the sides, if you do grass, that's using the free tool. Make sure it says on face every time before you click. Because if it doesn't, that means it's floating out somewhere in space. So after you do the grass, you do the window. I'll show you how to do the window with the planter box. So always do the trim first. Just makes your life easier. And then I don't need the bottom trim because that's going to be where the box is. So I'm going to delete these little portions here. And down the bottom, I'm going to draw a box, a rectangle. And then that rectangle, I'm going to pull it out. So it's hanging out. And there's 2 ways you could do this. You could draw a line and then push that other portion back away. And then you get a overhanging planter. Or you could use the move tool, select that bottom edge and just kind of push it back until it says midpoint. And you also get it. Then you can go and pull this out a bit, delete some extra lines you don't need. If you're going to cut out the window, be sure you put a cross beam in it. But there you go, that's the basics of how to build the house. You're allowed to have one side with nothing on it. By all means, if you want to put stuff on all the sides, you can. But that's a house.